Welcome back, everybody. It's been a couple weeks, but Chris and I are back, and this is Fuel Stop Chats. I'm James,
I'm Chris.
and here we go. So we had somebody that was going to be on today, but for some reason it didn't look like he was going to make it. So Chris and I are just going to sort of spitball a little bit. It is glorious Black Friday, so I'm staying here in my garage. I'm not leaving to go anywhere because I don't want to have to deal with it. My wife just left. She said she had to meet somebody for breakfast somewhere. I was like, "You're crazy. I'm not going out. There's no way."
No,
She was not looking forward to it, but she had already made plans and hadn't really thought about it being Black Friday when she had made plans. So I said, "Well, bring me back a sandwich."
I'm a much bigger fan of Cyber Monday. That Black Friday shopping is just off the charts, man. I can't do it.
No, no, I did it once. Remember the Wii system, the Sony Wii system?
Oh yeah, we
So I
have
think
one.
I think our son was maybe 12 when it came out, and I went and actually stood in a line at Target at 4 in the morning to get one of those damn things. And I stood there thinking to myself, never again.
You
Never
know, I,
doing this again.
I think there was a time of day pre-internet where, trying to get a bargain like that was maybe worth it for certain things.
Yeah.
But man, since the days of the internet, it's like, why?
No, I'll take that back. I did it also a few years ago to get my father an iPad because Apple stuff doesn't go on sale very often, but when you can pick up an iPad for I think it was like $100 at
Wow.
Best Buy, I went and stood in the line for a little bit. I think that was a 2-hour ordeal. My time was worth it to stand in line, so I ended up buying 3 of them. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you run across a deal like that every once in a while. It's worth it, but I don't think so.
I think last time we talked, you were looking at getting the uh, the ultimate trailer or the ultimate bike. What is it? The thing that you had in the back of your truck.
Oh, the ultimate power ramp.
The ultimate power ramp. So you got it installed. What are your
Got it
thoughts?
installed. It's amazing engineering. The quality is better than what I had anticipated. Um, the fact that Mark took so much time with me. I actually went out to Ohio because it was cheaper to drive out there than it was to ship it because of the weight. I think it's 185 pounds altogether. Um, anyway, we went out and took the truck out and got to his place and installed it. And we took the time there's a pad in the back where if your bed isn't perfectly aligned with your tailgate, if your tailgate's up a little high, you don't want any weight on your tailgate. So what they do is they have an adjustable back piece that allows you to compensate for that. So when I put the extender piece on, it carries the load, not your tailgate.
Oh
And
wow.
so we took the time to get that all tweaked and get it, really finely adjusted. And then that gives you the break point, the bend point, if you will, for the ramp itself to come out of the truck. And with that extension on there, even with a 3500 and a high tailgate, you've got a decent slope instead of it being real steep, right? And the worm gear operation with the cordless drill, I mean, it pulls the bike up in there and unloads it. Really easy.
Now, did you use your 1600 and test it out when you got home?
Now we used his bike there
Okay.
to test it all out, make sure everything was fit. There was a there was an issue because this is the first time they've done a long bed with that high a tailgate. So he said, I think we're close, but let's see. And they were really close. And but making those tweaks and everything. And then we wanted to see the steepness, how steep the ramp was, that elevation. And so he had his bike handy and he wheeled it around and we made sure everything worked great before we left. Really good
Yeah.
guy to deal with. Really,
And,
really.
that was my biggest concern. So you have a 3500. That is high off the ground. It's not like a normal F150 that's even got a couple inch of lift on it. It's still, I mean, that thing is high up. So that was, yeah, I was curious as to how that would be. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a conversation that was online the other day where somebody was asking about do I trailer my bike out to California and ride down the coast? Do I fly and rent, whatever? I said, look, I've
Done
ridden my
both.
bike out there a couple of times, and I've done the fly and rent lots of times. And I was walking them through kind of the pros and cons of each one. And I said, and if you have a pickup truck, you can always throw your bike in the back of the truck and drive out if you want, and somebody's, you always get the, oh, why would you trailer your bike? You always get those guys. But, this guy has a limited amount of time. He has a limited budget, and I told him, I said, look, I don't myself, if it was local, a couple 20, 30 miles or something, trailering's fine, but if I'm going to jump in the car, for example, and I'm going to run down and see you down in Bryson City, that's 10 hours on a bike. It's 8 in a car, 9. And if it's like it is today, where it's in the 30s and the wind's blowing 50 miles an hour, it's pretty nice to be able to just say, you know what, I'll just throw this in the bed of the truck. I'll drive down there where it's a little warmer
Yep.
and ride all over there, So there's a convenience factor to it. Some guys are, oh, it's $2,500. It's like, well, yeah, it is, but it's because it's not a piece of crap either. I mean, if you look at the way this thing's made, like for example, just subtle things, the way the rails slide in,
Mm-hmm.
we spent probably 15 minutes making adjustments so that when you put the extension piece on and you slide the piece out to, actually hinges down to get the bike, there's no clunk clunk where that seam is. It's like it's machined,
Nice.
but you can take it off and throw the tailgate shut.
So when you're because I know you have a fifth wheel attachment in there. When you take this off, is it easy to store?
So the fifth wheel is only on during trailer season. I take it out. The bed's pretty much empty all the rest of the time of the year.
Yeah.
And the fifth wheel hitch that I bought is a 2-piece, so I could pick it up myself. It's still really heavy, but it's at least in 2 pieces. And I have a roller cart that rolls up to the tailgate, and I set the first piece on. I set the second piece on top of it, and then I can just roll it into the garage. And this thing weighs 185 pounds. So what I did was, do you know what I mean by furniture mover or piano mover?
Yeah.
A little 4-wheel, right? Well, I've got several of those in the shop. I just roll one of those over there, drag that thing out until to the end
Yeah,
is
just
on
put
that
it on there
roller.
and wheel it away. Yeah.
Yeah, just stand it up and roll it over against the wall, and that's it. So
Nice.
yeah, not bad. And the beauty of this system is that it doesn't bolt into your bed. That's the other thing that people get all sideways about. I don't want this thing permanently bolted in my bed. I want to use my truck. I use my truck. It's not in the truck now.
Wait, I don't understand. It's not bolted down. How is it in there?
No, the 2 corner tie downs in the front. Every pickup's got welded corner tie downs
Yeah.
in the bottom corner. You take 2 straps, and there's an A-frame that's built to strap that down, and that holds the front end down while you're
Really?
putting your bike in. Yeah.
Oh,
And it
wow.
only takes about, for an 800-pound bike, it only takes about 300 pounds, hold the front end down so it doesn't give you any of that. 2 tie straps, 500 pounds each.
There you're good.
It'll load a 1,200-pound bike.
Okay.
Easy.
I thought this thing was bolted down into the bed of the truck.
No, it's removable, super easy.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
why I went that route.
Yeah.
Again, I'm talking about my truck is a truck. It is a empty bed for hauling stuff. My daughter just bought her first house and moved. I used the truck, moved all kinds of furniture with it. I want to pull the 44-foot toy hauler. I've got the pucks already installed where I just slide in my fifth wheel mount. And when I want to take the bike somewhere, like I'll give you another example where I'm going to use this pretty soon. I need new tires. When we came back from North Carolina trip,
Yeah.
when you and I were down there, my tires need replaced. Well, I don't know if you do know, because you grew up in Chicago and you're born in South Dakota, but there are days up here where I don't really, yes, I have heated gear and I've ridden in cold weather, but how nice would it be to throw that thing in the back of the truck, drive down to Bob's, get some two new tires. And I don't care if it's January or February. If it's a nice day, I want to go ride, but there's no tread on the tires, man. So it's a great example of here's how handy is it to drive down there with that in the back of the truck, unload it, let them put 2 tires on it, and roll off. I mean, you know,
Well, I figured you took it out because you went out hunting with your family. How was hunting? How was your hunting trip?
it was good, man. And yeah, so everything comes out of the bed so that the 4-wheeler can get loaded. Now
Yeah,
the 4-wheeler, I ride that up the ramps. It's easier than trying to walk beside a big heavy touring bike. Um, yeah, so hunting was great. I was by myself 2 nights because my brother had gotten married and used up all of his vacation time. So he was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then he took off. He got a nice 8 on Monday, and I had 6 doe I could have taken, but chose not to. Um, but it was a good time. Dad came down. It was just him and me for 2 days
oh,
in
that's
the middle
awesome.
of the week. Yeah. So for him to come down at 85, almost 86, hang out for a couple days, we sat around a fire pit. We talked for hours and just had a really, really cool couple of days.
Yeah, that's
And
like
then
one of the best parts of being on a motorcycle trip is when you get the fires going and the bourbon out and just sort of sitting around telling stories. Sort of like what we're doing here without fire or bourbon. So I do have a quick
well,
story for you.
normally we're not broad daylight doing this, but we were
This
trying
is
to
true.
facilitate the day after Thanksgiving, guys in California. But
Yeah,
anyway, speaking of good stories, you mentioned earlier you had a good story.
I did. I do. And this is sort of a beware for people. I don't know. All of the warning signs came out on this to where it was just too much. But but the KTM, I've got it for sale. I've got it on a couple different websites and Facebook Marketplace. Uh, you, all the pictures are out there. So it's got the supermotos on there. I've got the 606s with the rims that go with it. Everything. I got all the pictures. I've been getting a lot of hits on it, and I get an email. And it's like, well, I don't want to haggle. What's the absolute lowest you go? So I tell him. He's like, all right, perfect. I will send you a cashier's check. I was like, cashier's check. So there's a flag there. It's like, you don't want a video of me starting the bike. You don't want to. He's like, no. I'm in. He didn't say where he was, but his email came in from St. Louis. So I was like,
Easy now, easy,
no,
easy.
I'm
Don't be
just,
picking.
I'm
Don't be
just
picking
telling
on
you.
us St. Louis natives.
I'm just telling you, it came in from St. Louis, and he's like, no, I don't hear good, so everything that I do is voice to text. So you would have to deal with one of those machines, or we could just text like this. It's like plausible. All right. He's like, well, I have some hospital things that I have to do, some doctor's appointments, and then I'll get back to you in a week. It's like, that's perfect. So I had to go up to Chicago. I went to Chicago. I came back. It's been like 2 weeks. I said, hey, I haven't heard from you, so I'm putting, the bike is on the market. I don't have a check. It's still for sale, and I'm not holding it for you. I got an email back. Here's the tracking number. Check's on the way. Okay, so check the tracking number. It was U.S. Postal Service. Huh, all right. Then he comes back and he's like, my secretary, there's my second flag, because who has a secretary anymore, made the check incorrectly. She made a cashier's check for $7,300.
Oh man.
Could you just, it's a cashier's, it's certified check, the money's good. Just deposit it. Once everything clears with your bank and you're happy with it, just divert the X amount over to the. It was supposed to be X amount going to me and X amount going to the transportation company, and it was like, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000. And I'm thinking to myself, I have transported motorcycles from here to Boston, from my Camaro shipping the Camaro down from Chicago was like $1,000. I thought
Yeah, I was gonna say we
3,000 to
just
ship a
checked.
bike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was $800 to put it in Europe.
yeah. So I said, hey, I don't know who your transport company is, but they are raping you. This is you do not need to pay. I will find you a different transport company. No, no,
Dude,
no, no, no.
speaking of trucks with a ramp in it, I'll drive down there to Tampa and haul the bike to St. Louis for you for $3,000.
Right? No, no, no. I'm in the hospital getting chemo. There was supposed to be money that went to the transportation money, supposed to be money for you, and I was supposed to get money. I was like, what hospital are you in? Nothing. Dead silence. Check arrived. I got an email. Your check arrived. My secretary will send you the information for the transport company. It's like, okay. Just to let you know, if this is a scam, I'm giving you your early out right now. Because if it is, I will prosecute to the full extent of the law. This is not a scam. I would never do anything like that. All right. So the mail comes, and I actually have it right here. Priority service. Has a return address on it, too.
Oh, good.
I open it up, and an actual cashier's check.
Yeah. What bank?
It's a bank called Kitsap Bank out of Port Orchard, Washington. So I Googled searched them, found them, and I called them. I said, hey, somebody sent me a cashier's check. I just want to verify these funds are real. She's like, well, what's the branch number? I said, I don't know. She goes, there's a BR and a number. I was like, BR number 2. She's like, yeah, we've been getting a lot of these. I was like, She goes, let me transfer you. She put me over to security. They're like, yeah, what's the number? So I told them the account number. She's like, yeah, that's 10 numbers. Our accounts are 11. She goes, yeah, this is one of the fake ones. Where'd it come from? So I told her. She goes, huh. Most of them have been coming out of California. That's a new one. I was like, all right. So I notified the FBI and the Postal Service, seeing that this was basically wire fraud now.
Yeah.
Filled out a bunch of paperwork for the FBI. Never heard back from them. It's been 2 weeks. Not even an email reply back that they got this.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
COVID slowing things down.
This was from like the 10th of November. So I guess they're doing other things. But, yeah, then the guy wrote me back. Here's the address of the where you need to send the money from. Or money to. I was like, okay. Yeah, I'll get right on that. As soon as this check cashes. He's like, well, send me a picture of the check being cashed.
What?
And I told my wife about that, that it was, cashed. He wants to see that it was, validated and cashed, which I thought was weird, but I was like, okay, so there's my open door. How far down the rabbit hole do I want to go? Because I've already been spoofing his IP address on all of the emails coming in, but it's all coming in from Gmail, which means it's going to show Wichita, Kansas from its,
from
one of the cloud servers. I can't pinpoint exactly where this guy is. But if he wants me to send him a photo.
Yeah, where do you want me to send it to?
No. I'll just embed something into the photo that automatically alerts me when it opens and tells me exactly what machine opened it from where.
Yeah.
So I was telling my wife this, and she's like, stop. Just stop. You're going down the rabbit hole. This is going to consume you. Let it go. You've reported it into the FBI. Let them do their job. You don't need to be spoofing this out. And she goes, secondly, you don't know what kind of organization this is, and they already have your home address and name because they sent this to you. I was like, all right. So I turned it all in. I did notify the company because there's an address on here for where it was sent from. And I got a hold of the company that was supposedly be the company that he owns. And they're like, this again? Yeah, I said, yeah, I got a package from you. It's a check. And she goes, you didn't get anything from us. This started up again. She goes, I don't know who got our address, but somebody uses our address and sends out these fake cashier's check. We've had people come here asking about this, and police. She goes, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with this. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. So if
I
anybody's
liked your
trying to,
idea. Dude, I like your idea because as much as we travel, it ain't nothing for me to jump on a plane and go
oh,
visit somebody.
oh, I know, and I was right there with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just call me. Tell me where I'm supposed to meet you.
I believe my wife was like, "All right, John Wick, we're not going down this path."
Yeah, you know what though, man? We had a situation where somebody had stolen the ID. They were going into like Walgreens and
Yeah.
CVS's, and they were buying, gift cards, redeemable gift cards with this money they had stolen. And so the lady at the Walgreens said, "What was the time of the transaction?" And she could tell by the cash register and their point of sale system. They
Oh.
have a picture. They have a picture of this dude at the cash register. This is the guy. This is the transaction. This right here. And I said, okay, great. So contact the police local in California. The guy says, well, we typically don't chase this stuff down because it's
Yep.
covered. I said, look, I understand my insurance company and my credit card, blah, 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 blah. I get all of that. But you have a photo of the guy committing the crime.
In the act of the crime. Yes.
And he goes, well, if we caught the guy, you're in Pennsylvania. I said, no. I will fly
I'll
out
come.
there. I have no problem flying out there
Yep.
if you catch this guy, because sooner or later, somebody's got to pay for this. I
Yep.
mean, we're all paying for it now in hidden fees and transaction fees. And, I said, somebody needs to put a stop to these guys. But,
Well, yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is they gave me the address of where to send the money to.
yeah,
I was like, well, all right. Now I've got a point of somebody's expecting a check.
right.
I'll just fly out there. I thought, and I Google searched it. It's not like a house on a dirt road, and I mean it's like a shack.
Where at?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was
Like,
somewhere in Colorado.
oh, Colorado.
So I thought about it, and I was like, it's just as easy to put, any mail that's going to this address under this name, auto forward it to India or Russia or
Yeah.
wherever. So, yep, I've let it go. But, as a word of warning to motorcyclists, if you're trying to sell something and you're using any of the motorcycle websites that are out there to sell anything, just seller beware. If you get a cashier's check and somebody's telling you that it's going to be a little bit over and you can move that money over and send it back to them, it's fake. Listen to yourself internally that this is too good to be true.
Man. Well, with the bank routing numbers being incorrect, why I'm surprised a bank would cash the cashier's check.
It's not the routing numbers. The routing numbers are correct.
Okay.
So what takes place is you'll go to cash
Yeah.
that check. The routing numbers will match up. Your bank
Yeah.
will see it as a certified cashier's check, and they'll accept it. And they will give you this would be $7,300. So I would have seen $7,300 instantly deposited in my bank. It
Yeah.
gets sent back, and once it gets back to the other bank and the other bank verifies the account number, that's when
they
it gets
flag it.
kicked back, and it's like, this is fraudulent, and my bank comes back to me and says, yeah, I'm going to need that $7,300 back.
Yeah.
In which I had already taken 3,000 of that and sent it to Zimbabwe or wherever. Now I'm on the hook for, $3,000.
Oh man.
My neighbor, this happened to him. So I was telling him about it. He goes, yeah, that happened to me about 5 years ago. Sons of bitches. Rah, rah, rah. He's like, I went tooth and nail with the bank. I was able to keep a portion of that money. He goes, I had no problem, giving X amount back, but I didn't, ship the bike or anything like that. They just never came and got the bike. It was all about the money. So I'd kept my product. So I wasn't out a bike and
the money.
he goes, yeah, but the insurance, the The bank covers the insurance side of it, but yeah, they're still gonna want money. So I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
dealing with it. I know this is fake. Um, I'm just holding on to it if the FBI ever comes back to me. Which I mean, they got bigger fish to fry than some guy writing cashier's checks. But I mean, this is also like you said. This is a wear on the resources that could be used doing other more important shit.
Well, think about it though. Let's say that guy mails 100 of those checks out,
And 10 of them pop.
right?
That's $30,000.
Now you're getting into some, some serious money where if he only mailed 100, that guy's probably a machine. He's probably printing and posting those things,
Yeah,
you know, that's his
like I said,
job.
it's more like it's most likely not just one dude. It's some kind of
Right.
organization that does
Yeah.
this kind of thing, and you know,
We've been
especially now
talking
with the
lately.
holidays, people are looking to sell something to get money to do something else for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I know that I've sold things that are looking to get rid of something, and
Sure.
was the season. I was like, I'd like to be able to do this with my family or get my wife this, and I'll get rid of this. So you sell it, and you know, people are looking to sell stuff nowadays.
Yeah. We just did a piece on ransomware the other day, and it's become an organized crime. You can
Yes.
literally go ransomware as a service, and you pay a fee. They send you all the code, mailer list, and off you go.
So, yeah, that was my fun story. All right, my friend.
Well, like
Good
you
catching up
said,
with you.
buyer and seller beware.
Yeah,
If
buyer
I
and seller
can't
beware.
if I can't drive to it or fly to it and see it,
Well, here's the thing. I think the biggest thing for me is if somebody wants to buy your motorcycle without ever seeing it or hearing it start, would
yeah,
you buy a motorcycle without ever seeing it and hearing it start? Especially if it's almost 20 years old? No.
no, no.
Exactly. All
So
right. Well, that's it. Maybe we'll have our guest on here another time. I'll reach out to him. It'll be fun to see if he makes it on because it's a really interesting story and information that he has. And I'm just going to tease it like that and leave that there. So until next time, ride her out.
right or out, brother.